Hey everyone! Christopher with Excavator by Lego Technic. Set number 42006. Contains 720 pieces. Recommended building ages are 10 through 16. So here we have a large excavator. In the upper right it shows some of the various movements. This indeed is a 2-in-1 set. So here is the various actions. The second model is the tracked tractor. This is something to note about. It says this building instruction only at lego.com/Technic. So it appears that we may have to download the second instruction manual. Looks like the excavator can take the power function set as well. That is not included. Let's open up this box and see what's inside. It is taped well along the edge. A bag with smaller elements. Looks like that's a bag with friction ties. Another bag with various ties and elements. A fourth bag with more elements. This box is cram-packed with parts. A fifth bag with larger elements. A smaller bag of elements. A medium bag. They just keep coming and coming. Another bag with large elements. And another bag with various elements. Nothing else in the box except for instruction manuals and stickers. But before we begin, let's open up the instruction manual and see if there is too. At least the manual is bound by cardboard. So here's the two instruction manuals. So it only comes with instructions for one of the models. Here's the print work. So there is two instruction manuals for one of the builds. 9 bags full of fun and excitement. Let's have a look at the tracked tractor. The first model is the tracked tractor. It is packed with lots of features. The first thing we're going to notice that it is indeed on tracks. It does roll kind of rough. I'm not sure if that's what its design was intent for. So this model doesn't technically roll smooth. The front loader does lower and raise. So turning this clockwise raises the loader. This will be perfect to scoop up bales of hay. On the rear, we have another attachment. This can be used to plow fields. The knob at the top here, rotating it counterclockwise, raises the plow and lowers it down. We have another knob on the plow itself to determine the width of each row. This would be perfect for planting seeds for the field. This attachment can be removed. Simply lift this pin up, push that out of the way, and this does easily remove. Really clever idea. And it does easily set back in place. Nice construction. Let's have a closer look at the interior. Here we have a place for the driver to sit. Got a little steering wheel. This does not function. The hood on this tractor does open up. Swings forward like a typical tractor. It does reveal some of the gear work inside. This is one great model. The only complaint is that it does roll kind of rough. Here's the other side. It's not a bad little tractor. Now, when building this model, the instructions have to be downloaded from the LEGO Technic website. I'm not sure why they did not include the printed instructions with this model, seeing that it is a 2-in-1 set. Now, let's have a look at the spare parts. There still is plenty of elements after constructing the tractor. There's still a good assortment of gears, Technic elements, a few ties, shafts, and many other elements. These pieces may come in handy to enhance the tractor. Now let's head over to the excavator. Finally, we have the excavator. This is the last of the 2 builds. It is indeed mounted on a set of tracks. It does roll fairly well on a flat surface. It's a bit noisy. Here we have the operator's cab. Let's take a closer look. Here's the seat. Here's a set of controls. These do not function. The excavator does rotate a full 360 degrees. Of course, it is a tight squeeze on my table, but he does rotate very well. Let's take a look at the rear. Here's the knob that controls the various movements of the arm. This tan gear raises and lowers the arm. On this side we have a set of switches. This one controls the extension of the arm, and this one controls the grabber. These are all mechanical switches. These are used to switch the here's the grabber itself. Nice, solid, rigid construction. Now let's see how well it operates. Let's turn the tan gear. The arm does raise up by rotating it clockwise, and rotating it counterclockwise lowers the arm. It is a bit slow on raising and lowering. Now if we spin the gear in the back, nothing happens until we switch some gears. Let's switch it to where we can extend the arm out. So rotating it counterclockwise does indeed extend the arm out, and rotating it clockwise brings the arm inward. Flip the other switch. Let's open up the grabber. Rotating it counterclockwise opens up the grabber, and rotating it clockwise does, of course, close up the grabber. And both can be ran simultaneously. So this is indeed a fully functional excavator. Nice, solid, rigid construction. Very durable. This will work good on any of the construction jobs. Here are the extra pieces after assembling the excavator. These pieces are used to attach the power functions to the excavator. Seeing that the excavator seems lifeless without the power functions, let's add power to this bad boy and see what he does. Here is the excavator. This time it does have power functions. It looks almost identical, but a few things have changed. First thing we're going to notice, we have a switch to turn on and off the excavator. Nothing much has changed with the rear. I did find one mistake when I assembled this, that in order to raise and lower the arm, you were supposed to use this black gear, not the tan gear. And I found out there was a gear in here that I had put in backwards. So now that extends the arm out, and of course flipping it forward raises and lowers the arms. So that was a boo-boo on my behalf. But anyways, not a whole lot has changed. The motor's right behind here. Let's take a closer look. So here is the motor. It's buried up in there. The power pack is at the bottom. Let's turn it on. This is how you turn it on right here. Bit of a tight squeeze. The LED's on. Good. Well, let's test this bad boy out. Let's turn on the switch. Nothing much is going on until we flip the switches. Now it does not roll or turn. It does have full control over the arm. I can raise the arm up. I can bring the arm down. Open up the grabber or close it. In order to close it, we have to split the switch the other way. The controls are a bit difficult. Pretty cool. It does tend to get a bit noisy. Let's see if we can pick up Jay the Surfer with this. We'll set him there. This thing is very monstrous compared to Jay, so let's see if we can get this to pick him up. Open up the claw. It does take a bit getting used to the controls. Now, see if I can remember how to lower it down. Let me set him over there. Get him right lined up with the... Well, he fell down. Here, we'll just cheat a little bit. Alright. Okay, wrong way. Got to go the other way. See if it'll scoop him up. Alright. Well, let's raise it up. Well, maybe not. The controls are a bit difficult to get used to. But you do get the idea. It is rather a really nice, unique build. In order to get the crane to be motorized, you do need power functions. Set number 8293. All we used was the motor power box, a switch, and 2 gears. That was all you used. One thing to note, follow the instructions. Read things about 3 or 4 times, as you will make a boo-boo like I did. So anyways, as you can see, see if I can pick them up one more time here for good luck. So you got to flip the switch in reverse in order to get the claw to open up. Alright, let's see if I can pick them up again here. Let's give it another shot. Ah, I missed it. Well, maybe I got him. Did I? No, I didn't. But anyways, guys and gals, you get the idea. Here are the remaining elements after assembling the excavator. Just a gear and some ties and an extra shaft. Not a whole lot. There's one nice excavator. And this concludes the review for Excavator by Lego Technic. Set number 42006. Contains 720 pieces. Recommended building ages are 10 through 16. One nice durable excavator. It was fun to construct. The build was intermediate. You have to follow the instructions. And as for the first build, you need to download the instructions. And there is one more thing I forgot to show you is the stickers. Here's the print work. I choose not to put this on my excavator. Nice set of print work. All in all, this is one great set. I do recommend it. Thank you all for watching.